Green Spirit, back today with another witchy video for you. Today we will be making oat cakes for Beltane. Beltane traditionally is when the goddess and god join in union. It is a season or a celebration of love, and so that's what we will be doing today. We will be making oat cakes. Oats are traditional for Beltane, as well as the colors of green, red, and white. We will be making these oat cakes to symbolize love. This is why I'm using a heart-shaped cookie cutter, although you can use a circular one. What I would recommend is that you go into making these oat cakes with some love intent poured into it. These oat cakes would be perfect to share with your special loved one, your spouse, your girlfriend, boyfriend. We will be using honey, which is traditionally used to kind of sweeten someone towards you or sweeten someone's disposition. So you can go in with that kind of intent. I will be also incorporating a little bit of vanilla, which is also a symbol of love. We will be using the oats, which are a symbol of prosperity, and the whole thing is kind of just full of love and prosperity and good things. If you don't want to use it with the intent towards your special someone, you can also give these to family and friends to just show that your appreciation for them and your love for them. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. If I'm talking a little bit fast, it's because I noticed that my battery is low, but we're going to go ahead and get started. So what you're going to need for this recipe is going to be 2 cups of rolled oats. You can make them gluten-free if that is your situation. You are going to need to go ahead and process those 2 cups of rolled oats. You can use a food processor. I have a Vitamix, so I've gone ahead and done it in my Vitamix, and so you want to go ahead and make it into a coarse kind of flour. I did 2 cups for the actual recipe, and then I did about half a cup more because you're going to need to roll these out later, so you want to have a little extra flour to dust your surface. You are going to need half a teaspoon of baking powder. I've got a non-aluminum baking powder. I know that they said maybe it's aluminum is because it incorporates it into the food, but I've just got, it doesn't have to be aluminum free, but that's what I have. You will also going to need some salt. You can use sea salt. I don't recommend that you use coarse salt. You're going to need something a little finer grain. You can use table salt. I always have pink Himalayan salt on hand, so that is what I have. You're going to need half a teaspoon of salt. You're also going to need a 1/4 cup of unsalted butter melted, or if you are vegan, you can use virgin coconut oil. I have butter, but it's not unsalted, so I went ahead and used the 1/4 cup of melted coconut oil. You are going to need 2 tablespoons of honey. If you are vegan, you can substitute brown rice syrup, maple syrup, or any other similar sweetener. You're going to need 2 tablespoons of your sweetener. You are going to need half a cup of hot water. In the process of prepping for this video, my water has already gone cold, so I'm going to have to warm some more water up. But you're going to need half a cup of hot water. It does not need to be boiling. You will use half of one at a time. So you'll do like a 1/4 cup out of your half cup to moisten your flour, and then you will add water as you go, because you don't want to make your dough too sticky. And so that is when you're going to need. You're also going to need to preheat your oven to 325 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't do Celsius, so you're going to have to convert that if you're using the Celsius measure. You're also going to line a large baking sheet with parchment paper. which I have gone ahead already and done that. You can also use the butter, but I think that this just makes it a lot easier to kind of take off your pan. I do not recommend to use wax paper. Do not use wax paper. If you put wax paper in the oven, guess what? You're going to get wax in your food or wax on your pan. It's going to melt. So don't use wax paper. Okay, so let's get started. So again, you're going to want to go ahead and process your 2 cups of oats and then transfer it to a large bowl, which I've gone ahead and done here. You are going to want to go ahead and add your salt, and I've already got my salt here measured. So we've got our salt, and then you're going to need your baking powder, and so I'm going to use my same measure. Let's see here. Okay, 1/2 teaspoon baking powder. And oh, I forgot to say, you're going to need a whisk and a wooden spoon. So I'm going to go ahead and incorporate that salt and baking powder really, really well into my oat flour. Okay, then once you have gone ahead and incorporated that really, really well, and it's evenly distributed, you're going to go ahead and stir in your melted butter or oil into your oat mixture and your honey. Tip here for when you measure out honey, unless you're doing it in a spoon, you can go ahead and butter either your spoon or like your container that you have your honey in first, and it makes it so much easier for the honey or your like maple syrup or even molasses to kind of pour out. Okay, and I'm gonna grab a quick whisk here to kind of help me with that. A little. This is the whisk that I used earlier to measure out my coconut oil. Use my hands here. Okay, and then with a wooden spoon, you're going to go ahead and stir that in to your mixture. You want to just continue mixing until it's just mostly blended in here as much as possible. So as you can see, it's getting kind of clumpy or granular. Okay, that's pretty good. I'm going to take it off a little bit off my spoon here. Okay. And then you're gonna, and I had already started warming up some water, so I'm gonna, you can go ahead and measure it out, or you have a little kettle here. Okay. So again, you have 1/2 cup of hot water, but go ahead and just put half of that in, so that's 1/4 cup. and just stir a little bit at a time, because you do not want to overwater it, or else you're going to have to add flour, which is fine, but you don't want to do that too much, because then that changes the consistency of your dough. I'm going to add a teeny bit more. And as you can see, it's starting to form together. Okay. So now I'm going to get my hands in here. Might need a little teeny bit more water. If it's too dry, just add, a little bit water at a time. Again, you don't want to make it too wet. Again, keep visualizing, loving, intent. You can also use, if you have, say, like a difficult coworker and you're kind of tired of having this kind of difficult relationship with them, you can also put the intent that you want them to kind of sweeten towards you a little bit. Not manipulation. When I'm not talking here, manipulate them into liking you. I'm just talking about, saying, hey, I'm kind of tired of, our bickering. Let's sweeten our friendship or our potential friendship a little bit, and then you can offer it as a gift. Hopefully they'll take it. I mean, they might refuse and say, hey, I'm not taking anything from you, but, it's a chance that you take. Okay, so I'm going to kind of move my stuff here out of the way, kind of clear off some of this extra flour mixture. Okay, so like I said before, I had ground some little extra flour. You're going to go ahead and dust your counter here, or whatever it is. Maybe some people have some like marble things, but I'm just using my counter. I'm just add some flour for dusting. Let me dust my hands a little. Let's see here. Okay, and then you got your dough ball there. That's kind of what it looks like. Okay, turn it onto then the floured surface, and you're gonna want to roll it into about a 1/4 inch thickness. Oh goodness. Let's see. Okay guys, so I'm having trouble finding my rolling pin. Most likely my son grabbed it. He likes to cook, and then he just likes to kind of grab my stuff and play with it. So I'm going to go ahead and use this bottle to go ahead and roll this out. And you want it about 1/4 inch thickness. And it might look a little kind of broken, but it's okay. I'm going to take my little cookie cutter here. Go. Wasn't quite getting. There we go. Now you don't have to use a heart-shaped cookie cutter, but I think, it looks kind of nice. Okay, and then just place that on your baking sheet. And then you're going to want, once you've made a couple, you're going to want to roll it back up into a ball and continue rolling it out. And then go ahead and using your cookie cutter to cut the shapes out. If you don't have a cookie cutter, you can also use the top of like a glass. Just do whatever works for you. Once you're done with all your dough, go ahead and put it on your cookie sheet. So I'll be right back once I get done with this. Thanks. Okay guys, so I've gone ahead and finished cutting all my shapes out. With this heart shaped cookie cutter, I got a total of 9 biscuits, and which I find funny because 9 is a powerful number. But after you've gone ahead and cut them out, go ahead and put them on your baking sheet. Then you're going to go ahead and stick them in your oven. Hopefully you had already preheated your oven to 325 degrees. You're going to let them cook in the oven from 23 to 28 minutes. That just depends on your oven. It depends on your altitude. All you want to make sure is that they are golden and set at the edges. And then once that has happened, you can go ahead and take them out and you can let them cool on the sheet or in a wire rack. You can eat these nice and warm, or you can let them cool completely. But they've got a nice little sweet texture, sweet flavor to them. They're not overly sweet. So I'll come back in a little while after these are done, and I can give you suggestions for toppings. Thank you. Okay everybody, so here are my finished oat biscuits. I've gone ahead and just taken them out of the oven. So as you might have noticed, I did not add the vanilla to these biscuits when I was in the process of making them. You can certainly do that. You can just, when you add your water, go ahead and add half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of vanilla, depending on how vanilla you want them. You can certainly do that, but I decided to go a different route. Instead, what I decided to do is just melt about a tablespoon of butter, and I went ahead and added my half a teaspoon of vanilla to this melted butter, and then I'm going to go ahead and mix this up. So it infuses the butter with the vanilla, and then all I'm going to do, if I can find, just a moment. All I'm going to do is go ahead and brush my oat biscuits with this butter. Additional toppings that you can do, you can put some lovely goat cheese on here. You can do cream cheese. You can do jam. You can do a little bit more honey. You can make honey butter. That would be delicious. You can do preserves. You can do icing if you really wanted to. So you've got a couple of different options to kind of top these how you would like. But I decided to go this route. So anyways, I hope that you have enjoyed this recipe for your Beltane celebrations, and I hope that you have a wonderful Beltane celebration and, the season of love here. They always say February for Valentine's Day is, the season of love, but I see this as a season of love, the celebration of love. True love, divine love. Let's feel the love, people. Let's share that love. And if these oat biscuits help you get there, that's even better. You guys have a wonderful day, and blessed be. Thanks. Goodbye.